You got the hoodie too.
I do. I'm such a lesbian. Wait a second. Ding. Yeah, there we go.
My name is Vivek Shraya, and I'm an artist. I was primarily a musician, but then a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to put out my first collection of short stories, God Loves Hair. Since then, I've been making short films. My day job is I work at George Brown College as a human rights advisor and also the positive space coordinator. So most universities and colleges have a positive space program. It's just, or a safe spaces program. It's just to make the college or the university safe and positive for LGBTQ plus staff and students.
I wanted it to be this big and this bold.
Yes, those were very deliberate choices. Although now, when I have to carry it on the subway, I'm like, I wish I could put this in exactly. I felt really daunted that fall. I think it was 2011, and I felt like every time I went to see a queer play or queer movie or turn on, well, I don't have a television, but anytime I read anything about queer people, it was just like, we're getting shot or we're getting killed or we're committing suicide or we're dying. I feel like that's the dominant discourse about being queer, and that like our lives are rooted in tragedy and hardship. And I feel really lucky to know some amazing queer people who are doing all kinds of amazing, beautiful things, and sometimes those are the stories I want. Also, in the work I do, which is with queer youth a lot, I've had, conversations where they've said to me, like, listen, is this just a phase? I feel like I'm disgusting. My parents are never going to accept me. So I decided to pose what I thought at the time was a very simple question. It ended up being a lot more complicated. But what do you love about being queer? Like, what's great about being queer? And again, not to sort of like dismiss the challenges of being queer, but just to offer a different perspective. I invited 34 people, 34 queers, to answer this question on film. I didn't define queer for people, and that's one of the reasons why I chose the word queer, is that it's kind of undefinable. And then I edited the footage together and released it as a short film. And when the short film came out, I started thinking about how, wow, these people that are in my film are all part of a very small social network. Even though I didn't know all of them or a lot of them, they're still, friends of friends on Facebook. Tumblr's a really popular medium, right, for this sort of thing. Why not, create like sort of like an open space where anyone anywhere could submit their answer to what they love about being queer? Anytime I did a screening in the fall, I took a Polaroid film and index cards. So you'll notice in the book there's a lot of those kinds of submissions, and that's because anytime the film screened, at the end, there was an interactive component where queer and people in the audience could join the project by having a Polaroid photo taken and answering what they love about being queer, and that would get scanned and put on the website. It was actually Farzana Doctor's idea in the fall. There was supposed to be an exhibit for what I love about being queer, where all these answers would be on the wall, and she's like, this would make a great coffee table book. So much of my work, especially in the past couple of years, is trying to create, the kinds of connections or the kinds of, work that would have made a difference to me as a queer brown body that was struggling in Edmonton. And I was like, imagine a 16-year-old flipping through pages of beautiful people, talking about what they love about being queer. Like, what an amazing experience that would be. I approached my manager at work, actually. I said, this project has initially come out from the conversations I've had with queer youth here at George Brown. Staff and students have already participated in the project. We could include some George Brown faculty to write some essays, and we could donate all the proceeds to a scholarship for LGBTQ students at George Brown. So she agreed to fund the project. just email what I love about being queer at gmail.com, a photo and what you love about being queer, then I put it on the website.